This is such a strange process. I came out here to put another gallon or whatever amount of vinegar in this thing, and the level is way down lower. It hasn't leaked any more out. And look at the rust. I had wiped all of this rust off in here. I guess I'll see what happens this time. That is full. It's a few hours later and this thing's overflowing again. Not quite sure what goes on with that vinegar inside there. It's Saturday morning. I don't know how many days this vinegar has been in here. I got sidetracked with a water heater remove and replace. But once again, this level, you can see it keeps coming up and spilling over, and then it goes down. So I'm going to top it off, go take care of some business, and then I'm going to clean this thing out this morning. Many hours later. See, it went down again. I don't know what the heck is going on here, but it's time. Oops, didn't mean to do that. I'm just cleaning where it re-rusted. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to empty some of that vinegar out into this bin, then pour the rest out into this clear bin so I can see what comes out. These two jugs, the first ones, have hot water with Dawn dish soap. These two have just hot water for the second rinse. This is first rinse, second rinse. The gloves are in case the tank gets hot. Then we come back to this bin, which I will have rinsed out and got all nice and clean, and we go to Metal Rescue, which I don't have enough of, but I've made it work before like this, where I just keep rotating the tank in the bin. Here we go. Be right back. I did not empty any of it out yet. Had to take that petcock off because it was taking too long. This is the first rinse with Dawn dish soap. I read on the internet that it neutralizes the acid in the vinegar, so it must be true. I just put a block off on there where the petcock goes. I don't need the petcock. It's not doing me any good. And the tank is getting quite hot. Got soap bubbles coming out the gas cap. There's the vinegar that came out. Here's soap water rinse number 1. A little better look at it. It's a little bit rusty. I'm just curious what happens if I take this guy off on my California tank. Not too much. I just shook it with that valve removed and clearly do get a little bit of stuff that will come out of it. Here's soap rinse number 2. Still quite rusty, isn't it? Here's hot rinse number 1. A little less rusty. There are some particles in there. Here's hot rinse number 2. I don't remember if I showed this earlier as part of my process, but now I'm drying the inside of the tank. It's just a little bit hot to the touch. Put that on the lower setting. Should be dried out real quick. I have the lock-off plate on here where the petcock goes. I'm done drying. It looks a mess in there, doesn't it? Now it's time for Metal Rescue. I'm going to have to make a run to Home Depot and see if they have any more of this stuff. Yeah, that was less than 2 gallons. I really need more. But that's all I've got for now. So we get started. That's what I do, and I'll come out and keep tilting it different directions. Here's my starting tilt. Well, I've got the material on the tunnel in there. You guys might think I'm crazy, but I'm pretty sure I can resell this as apple cider vinegar now. If I just get some new labels that say apple cider vinegar instead of white. I mean, it looks just like it. So most of the liquid poured out of this tub. Some of that stuff poured out too, but basically that's what I ended up with, which really isn't that much. I guess one other thing, I've got, in addition to that apple cider vinegar for sale, I have a used water heater here. I'm not going to hold it for very long. It should go really quick. It'll be stored here for a bit, and then it's going away to the first buyer. I was able to get 1 more gallon of Metal Rescue, and then I went to O'Reilly's and got 2 gallons of EVAPORUST. Somebody online said it's the same stuff. So this thing is nearly full, and that's my tilt, and I'll tilt it the other way and go back and forth for a few days. Hope it works. It's the next morning. That's the tilt that it sat in overnight. This thing sat in the Metal Rescue EVAPORUST mixture all night. Look at it. I would say good things are happening. Looks like that inside there. There's the tunnel. Looks pretty clean. Did you see that X in that last photograph? I believe I have a pinhole leak. I had this thing tilted up like this, and when I came home and flattened it out, I noticed this spot right here. So I've dried that spot off real good, and I'm going to come out in a little while and see if it's leaking out of this X hole. Now I'm wondering if there's 2 spots right here. Damn. I came out here this morning to drain the Metal Rescue EVAPORUST mixture out of this tank. And I have it set up here. I was just going to drain it back into these containers. But more weird stuff is happening. I open that valve and nothing's coming out. It's not vapor locked. I don't know. I'm going to have to just dump it into a bin and then pour it into these containers. Not sure what's going on there. But doing this so I could fix these pinholes. I have 1, maybe 2 here also. It just never ends. This is what the Metal Rescue EVAPORUST stuff looks like. You can see some rusty whatever stuff floating around in there. It looks like that after emptying out the EVAPORUST Metal Rescue. This is right after rinsing with 2 gallons of hot water. Come on, where is it? I think I'm going to postpone completing this one for a little while. I got to figure out what I want to do for these pinholes. It seems like it would be a really good candidate for a tank sealer, which I've never done before. I don't really want to do. I will get back to this one eventually. I think I may end up silver soldering these pinholes. Not sure yet. I have a backup plan. This tank I bought many years ago. It's a bare metal tank. It's got 1 little dent thing here. I'll have to finish cutting this stuff out and then treat it with EVAPORUST, Metal Rescue, and then I think this sucker will be ready for sanding, primer, and paint.